Yo, what is everybody? It's me, Downweep here, back with parts 8 and 9 for What If Subaru Was Sukuna's Vessel. Now, these are, of course, broken up into two different videos, but I have the second one coming out, like, right after this, so you can always go over and, watch it. So that'll be pretty sweet for you guys, because I usually don't post this series back-to-back. Anyway, today we'll be covering the rest of Season 1, which is pretty insane. So we'll be getting through the witches as well as the white whale and everything that happened with Crush and all of that. So enough of me talking here. Let's actually get into the story for What If Subaru Was Sukuna's Vessel, the Curse King Subaru, which will be the finale for this part, for the first half of the anime being Season 1. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys the rest of this story for the first season. And make sure to get, hit the like button, like I said, if you guys want to see Season 2 coming soon. Like, super soon, and not, like, 5 months soon. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the video. Let's get into it. So it has been a little bit since part 7, the last part. So just a quick review of everything that happened. Subaru went and broke his promise to Emillia. That was him not getting involved in any fights, or using his powers before his gate was fully healed. And he did it. And he also broke into the royal selection and severely embarrassed her. But not as much as he embarrassed Julius, one of the strongest knights of Lagunica, and completely destroyed him, just, going completely all out of jealousy from the attention that he was giving to Emillia, who is the person that Subaru likes. Though it wasn't just Subaru getting his heart crushed that same day, we also had Sukuna meeting Felix and having his hopes and dreams of a cat girl in this world completely squashed, his weeb energy having been sucked dry from him. He was pretty negative the rest of the day, so obviously he was pretty happy when Subaru turned bitter as well. The two Susus now feeling the same emotions for what felt like a first time for a while now. Anyway, enough of the recap, let's actually get into the story today for What If Subaru Was Sukuna's Vessel Part 8, starting off where we left off with Emillia walking out of the room with Subaru looking at her back. No, please don't go, Subaru would say. Subaru's vengefulness that he had coursing through him moments ago would have disappeared. Every inch of jealousy now had switched to remorse and pain, because he realized that he had broken a promise to Emillia that he wouldn't do this, and he did, which was way worse than anything that he could have possibly done otherwise. In Subaru's head, all he can be thinking is, why? Why is this happening? I won, didn't I? What? Why do I feel so weak? Sukuna would say. Weak. Gah. Subaru would turn around, now inside of his soul space, seeing Sukuna sitting upon his throne. A massive pile of bones and death is now resting under him. As Subaru and Sukuna would look at each other, now Subaru running at Sukuna, trying to throw a punch at him. What are you laughing at? Subaru would say. I'm the hero of this world. I'm the main protagonist. Why is this happening to me? Why is my heroine betraying me? Subaru would be thinking. You're so stupid. What? You really think, boy, that just because you beat some weakling in a fight, that would be enough to win her over? It's almost like you think the people of this world have nothing to themselves, like they're empty toys for you to play with. Of course, that's how I view everyone, though. Maybe I'm rubbing off on you more than you. Shut up! Huh? Geki. What was that? Subaru and Sukuna would stare each other down as Subaru starts walking forward, the ripples underneath the dark water beneath his shoe increasing as they get faster and faster. He starts running towards Sukuna. Sukuna laughing as he simply moves further away, now Sukuna being out of Subaru's reach. Seeing this, he'd feel just like what he felt when Emillia walked away mere moments ago. Subaru would try and get up as he tries to walk forward towards the door in the real world. He'd trip and fall as he stumbles to the ground, landing in the dust. As Emillia herself would return to Roswell's mansion, feeling heartbroken, Rem staying by Subaru's side. Subaru would have gone unconscious, much like Julius, who he had forced into this state. Subaru would be laying in bed, not moving, simply inside of his soul space, walking, running forward for what felt like eternity towards Sukuna, just trying to get at him, trying to vent this anger, these negative emotions causing his cursed energy to build up, only making Sukuna stronger and able to force Subaru and keep him here. 3 days later, Subaru would have become hollow, the emotions he was feeling now having finally run out. Now, you guys might be wondering why this is, and it's due to Subaru having a certain training method that he did not have that Itadori Yuji did. You see, in Jujutsu Kaisen, Itadori spent a training session watching movies to hone his emotions under control. That was one of Gojo's first things he ever forced Itadori to do. Something that Subaru never had. Subaru never had any guidance with controlling cursed energy. It was sort of like a natural thing he picked up just from using it, which means that he has no clue how emotions really work with it. Think about it like handing a child a missile launcher. That's effectively what Subaru is. Subaru being the child and Sukuna being the missile launcher, quite literally. Anyway, Subaru would not have control over his emotions, this being the first real loss he's ever had, with Sukuna's power, no, his power, having always boosted him, having made him the winner in everything he ever did. This was a loss. Subaru, just like the original ReZero, hates losing. Oh, he hates losing. And so, as I mentioned, it took 3 days for him to completely run out of anger, rage, sadness, sorrow, misfortune, regret, whatever you may call it. It was that emotion that eventually ran out, as he just falls to the puddle unconscious, now breaking out of the soul space of Sukuna yawning, thinking, that took a while. Sukuna would suddenly wake up, as he looks down at his newfound hands and body. I should probably get going. Sukuna would pull himself out of bed, flexing his hands, having complete control over his body, with almost no resistance from Subaru at all. Since Subaru's soul and mind and everything was unconscious, he was completely out of energy. And thus, Sukuna now has complete control. While Sukuna was adjusting to his new body, Rem would hear the motion, as well as the creaking sounds coming from inside the room, realizing that Subaru was awake. She would quickly open the door ready to greet him, as she suddenly finds a hand sticking through her chest. Rem would cough out blood, as her horn would start growing, but it was too late, as she looks and sees Subaru, his hair now lifted, with gray streaks now forming along the bottom. Black tattoos would be coated across his skin and face. In fact, his entire face would look different. No, this wasn't Subaru. Rem, of course, wouldn't be able to think for this very long before she eventually died from Sukuna killing her. With, again, Subaru having no resistance. Sukuna would rip her heart out of her chest, crushing it, as Rem would fall to the ground, a pool of blood forming around her lifeless corpse. That's the stuff, Sukuna would say. I can't believe I had to pull on that act for so long. Now all I need to do is get some more fingers, and I'll be back. I have a few days at most while this kid's gonna be out. He's completely out of cursed energy, and mine's at full power. Do I have a curse technique that can switch genders? Oh, my cat girl, I'll be coming for you soon, he'd say. Sukuna exiting the room as he pulls a black coat over himself. His abs showing for that extra fan service, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Sukuna, would exit the building, leaving before anyone could arrive. Felix eventually coming to the room, having missed him, thank God, and having found Rem's dead and Subaru missing. Subaru now being a fugitive, having literally murdered Rem and part of the Emillia camp. Sukuna would be long gone. Not even using a ground dragon, he'd just be running, using his pure physical strength, as he's heading back towards the nearest energy signal for the next finger. 2 in close proximity, huh? I might be able to really lock this bounty down for sure this time. Let's go extra fast. Sukuna is aware of how to search for cursed energy, and he would have found 2 pinpoints of his power somewhere else, and not too far. But I wonder why it's heading towards... Sukuna would realize that it's coming from the mansion? Wait, no, the second one, it's getting closer? What the... Sukuna would realize as he then dodges down, turning his back and spine, cracking them all the way to the ground, as he's now flat against the dirt, skidding from his speed, as he feels scratches along his back, quickly healing them with reverse curse techniques. Suddenly we would hear the roar of the white whale. Damn, I guess you ate part of me too, huh? Or at least it's inside of you. You're partly a cursed spirit now, aren't you? Hey, curse womb, huh? Interesting. Well, you're still nothing compared to me, even in this diminished, pitiful state, Sukuna would say. Sukuna would use the first of a few of the techniques he actually has inherited still, that were from the first fingers that Subaru had consumed, that being Cleave and Dismantle. 2 slashing type attacks using cursed energy. Interesting enough, these are actually the same techniques that he had borrowed to Subaru while he was busy digging his own grave in front of Emillia. Anyway, Sukuna would use Cleave as he slashes upward with his hand, coating it with a dark red cursed energy, with a wave falling behind his hand, as well would suddenly begin to bleed, cursed energy being highly effective against it, unlike magic in the original. In the original ReZero, the white whale's furs, the small hairs sticking out of its body, would actually pulsate and divide the magic that would hit it. But with this cursed energy, it would just penetrate right through, hitting its soul. As Sukuna would slash the white whale, it would be cut in half as it begins to fall to the ground. Suddenly, a second white whale would come from behind. Its mouth opens and tries to eat Sukuna. Sukuna would turn, its eyes flashing red, meeting at the white whales, as the white whale last second would turn, flying upwards towards the sky. Sukuna looking up would then see there were 2 more of these huge whales. The main whale would be flying above the other, as it begins to emit smoke, clouding over the area as Sukuna would begin to be absorbed. What is that? Before he could even think any longer, the magic from the white whale, this being a witch's summoning, that being one of the great witches of sins, being the 3 great beasts, would actually overwhelm this weaker version of Sukuna, him not exactly having a perfect counter for this type of attack. He would be absorbed into the smoke, screaming, thinking, "Damn it! Damn it!" as Sukuna would be then resealed inside Subaru. Subaru would wake up. Huh? As Subaru looks forward, seeing Emillia walking out the doors. No! Emillia, wait! Come back! Before he could say another word, he'd fall to the ground unconscious. This time though, Sukuna would unsuccessfully attempt to try and lure Subaru towards him. Subaru having realized after he had fallen unconscious that he had died, with him willing to not risk it, having realized what happened with his memories of the past 3 days, where he was just running after Sukuna. For those of you who haven't seen the previous parts, it was already stated by me that Sukuna actually is omitted from the effects of Return by Death, so when he was erased by the white whale, he was just resealed and his memories are gone. However, he can see and read into Subaru's memories, although Subaru's memories cut out while he's chasing Sukuna, so all he can assume is that after he revives, he would die, causing Sukuna to decide maybe now's not the right time to work on taking the body over. Sukuna would calm Subaru down, saying, "Emillia's mad that you broke a promise. Be a real man and speak up. Tell her you're sorry. Maybe buy her some flowers." "Oh, shut up, Sukuna," Subaru would say. "I'm just offering some friendly advice." "You? Friendly? Highly unlikely. Maybe you should go work on trying to figure out how to untrap yourself." This pissing off Sukuna. Whatever. Sukuna clicking his tongue would then release Subaru, with him not falling for the bait this time, now it only being 1 day before, with him waking up. This meaning that Subaru actually has time before the witch's assault on the mansion, which Sukuna didn't even get to last time. Now, for those who might be arguing that Sukuna, even with his 2 fingers that he has absorbed, 2-3 fingers, that he would probably be able to beat the white whale, I would normally agree if it was just the one, as you already saw. Like, he can just use one technique to take it down. That's how powerful he is. However, the magic attack that the white whale can use, the curse, quote-unquote, that can erase your memories and just erase you from existence, at this point in time, Sukuna doesn't really have a counter for that. It's a wide-range attack, and Sukuna is a super good close and long-range fighter, but only if he can see his target. And the whale used magic to coat the fog. It's magical fog. He can't just see through it. And that's why I'm saying Sukuna would die there, since unlike Subaru, he's not as good at formulating a long-term strategy with Subaru being more on that side of things, and less of the charge in, destroy everything, win the day kind of guy that Sukuna always has been. Besides, of course, when he has to formulate plans in order to manipulate Itadori, or in this case, Subaru. This time, when Subaru wakes up, Rem would enter the room as she runs forward, putting her arms around Subaru, saying she's so glad he's alright, asking why he fell unconscious. He had no injuries, no one could figure out what was wrong with him. Just a little fight with myself, Subaru would say. Rem again would be confused, but she was just glad that Subaru was alright. Subaru, after his full recovery with Felix's help, would eventually decide to go back to the mansion with Rem, confirming that he was going to apologize to Emillia and promise that he could do anything in order to make it up to her. Subaru would thank Crush and Felix, with him and Rem deciding to leave the next day, Subaru and Rem having no idea what was awaiting them as they get into the carriage heading back towards the Roswell estate and domain. The two, who were just enjoying some conversation while riding back, would suddenly notice something. Bloodlust. And Subaru could even smell it from here, the smell of iron, blood, and they were near the village. Rem and Subaru would both get out, as suddenly, some strange hooded figures would appear surrounding them. Subaru, Rem would say. Rem would summon the chained spike mace, as Subaru would pull his fists up ready to fight. The smell of blood would be getting closer, as suddenly a green-haired man with scratches over his face and skin, and his fingers looking worn and torn from use. Who are you? Subaru would say again, his cursed energy now pounding over his fists, as the witch cultists would merely stand ready to attack on their master's orders. Betelgeuse would walk forward, as he's about to use his unknown hand to crush these two who have now seen them before the initiative was taken to find the half-elf, that being one who looked like the great witch herself. Oh, the blessed one. Betelgeuse, about to use the unknown hand against Subaru, would not know that Subaru could actually see it, could see the unseen hand. Subaru would quickly turn as he sees the hand about to attack Rem, grabbing her and jumping out of the way, holding her princess style in his arms. Rem would be quite pleased, to say the least. Subaru would turn, another hand striking at him as he dodges out of the way, with Betelgeuse realizing that this man can see his authority. How is this possible? I see. Are you by any chance Pride? Subaru would turn, asking, huh? The hell's that mean? Now that I think about it, your scent. Her scent's all over you. Ugh. Why are you sniffing me? Subaru would ask, with Betelgeuse thinking, my brain trembles, scratching at his own face. Stop it, Subaru would say, as he runs forward, slapping Betelgeuse across the head with his cursed energy, Betelgeuse falling over. Yes, you must be Pride. Subaru would be creeped out. Even Sukuna would be feeling uncomfortable. Ew, he'd be thinking, gross. Now, Pride, show us your gospel to confirm you're one of us. Gospel? I'm not really the religious type, Subaru would say. Betelgeuse and the other witch cultists would not be aggravated by this, as they begin to attack Rem and Subaru, Rem being the first one to go. Subaru! Rem! Subaru would turn as he sees Rem about to get attacked from several witch cultists on all sides, with her swinging her mace, but there were too many of them. Betelgeuse now attacking Subaru, distracting him, as Rem would be knocked out and hurt by the witch cultists, with them grabbing her unconscious, with her not even able to enter her demon form since there were too many of them. Subaru would be fighting off Betelgeuse, and he would actually be doing pretty well, using cursed energy as he then moves in for close combat, hitting a single black flash which would cause Betelgeuse's right arm to completely twist and shatter. Oh, my brain, it trembles, he'd be thinking. Does anyone have any hand sanitizer? Subaru thinking. His skin's all papery and oily. When was the last time you took a bath, dude? This would cause Betelgeuse to turn, saying, all I need is her love. Dude, are you down bad or something? Calm down, Subaru would say, dodging out of the way of the unseen hands, with now hundreds of them coming at him at once, with him trying to get back to Rem so he could either escape or take some of the witch cultists down with him, or just successfully take down Betelgeuse at all. I have to save Rem, he'd be thinking. As he runs towards Rem, he used cursed energy through his arms and legs, increasing his speed as he throws punches, smashing through several of the witch cultists as their blood would be covering the ground. With Subaru finally making it to where Rem was, picking her up and trying to escape with Rem's arm still broken. Betelgeuse would pursue, carrying himself in his own unseen hand, chasing after Subaru as Subaru tries to escape. Subaru would run into a tree branch. What? He'd be thinking. So lame, would be the last thoughts going through his mind as Subaru would fall to the ground unconscious. Subaru would wake up in the same dark cave he would have in the original, seeing Rem strung up by unseen hands and, "No, what are you doing to her?" he'd say, with Betelgeuse using the unseen hands twisting Rem's body, grimacing every time with a smile coursing over his face. Subaru would be in shock, aghast as blood began to spurt out of the rips in her skin. Subaru would be tied up, but that wouldn't be enough to stop him. "Damn you," he'd say, his veins pouring over his face and his nails elongating as he taps into some of Sukuna's power of his rage. He would slash the ropes with his nails as he runs towards Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse snapping all of Rem's limbs all at once, with her almost dying on impact as she falls to the ground. Her arms slowly moving forward as Subaru has one desire in his mind and would actually succeed as he puts his hand forward thinking, "I have to save you." Subaru would successfully use a reverse curse technique, this being the healing technique that Subaru unknowingly can use thanks to Sukuna. Sukuna being surprised that Subaru could activate this technique. "I gotta be careful, he might steal my other techniques if I let him." Subaru would successfully heal Rem with her arms switching back in place, using the reverse curse technique, as he tries to heal her other half, her legs, but it would fail this time with Sukuna interfering, not having even wanted the first use of it to happen. Rem would look up, with her neck still twisted as she meets Subaru's eyes, with her trying to say something. But as she's about to say it, Subaru looking to try and read her lips, she would then get crushed under an unseen hand, as Subaru looks up, his eyes full of hatred, as he tries to block the other hand trying to attack her, using just his pure physical strength holding it off, as he looks at Betelgeuse saying, "You'll die for that." And that is it for part 8 of What If Subaru Was Sukuna's Vessel. If you guys want to see the next part, part 9, you don't even have to do anything, but I'll still appreciate the likes, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Part 9 is on the way, already coming out, and this will be covering the events from the next few loops, / the next events dealing with the witches cult, as well as the white whale, and Crush and everything, to the end of Season 1 of ReZero. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will be trying to get part 9 out as soon as possible. I'll see you guys there.